This is my reaction on the interview of Kanja as the next Inspector General. But first of all, I want to talk about something I noticed not good about him being appointed Inspector General. And I also wanted to say my closeness to him. Because in Kenya we have this attitude of praising somebody and then you hide the fact that he's your village mate. Amesoma hivi, amefanya hivi, hey. But we hide the fact that we are village mates, isn't it? I think it is good to say that. One thing I noticed, and the only negative I noticed about him and his interview, was that he was born towards the end of 1963. Meaning, at the time of the interview, Kanja is 60 years old and some months. 60 years and some months. When, at a time when we want the person to serve in the civil service, the last day you serve in the civil service should be your 60th birthday. That is the only negative thing I've noticed about him. He's the type of a person who should have said, thank you, but no please. Although, I have noticed when he was talking about his past, he was trying to communicate something that you may not know, but which I know. You know, for somebody who rose the way he rose and became the deputy commandant of Kenya Airport Police Authority in the old constitution. Then when Kavuludi interviewed him, made him the county police boss of Kilifi. You may not know, unless you have a professional background like some of us. Kavuludi, I don't know the criteria Kavuludi was using. But if you ask me, many police officers, things like that is as a hidden message that we want to sack you, but we have no excuse. Because county police, even today, by today's standard, the county police boss in Kilifi and any other counties except Nairobi, they are one rank below Kapu man. And remember, Kapu is an urban. You deal with the modern day terrorist, hijackers, so and so, and then you take somebody to Kilifi, which is a step away from arid areas. I read that. And I also wanted to say, people say I'm related to everybody. And when I say something like that about Kanja, somebody say, here comes again. Somebody even told me, we are all related because we all came from Adam and Eve. Anyway, where my mother is buried, is a place called Kayaba. Actually, it is a home called Stage Ngurue. And if you go to Stage Ngurue, you'll find people talking Luhya. But please don't call a Luhya to listen to that, because if a Luhya listens to it, he will not understand. You see, my uncles and aunts speak Luhya, but the way they pronounce it, a Luhya will not understand it unless I, I translate Luhya into Luhya. So that my mother was born and is buried at Kayaba, not very far from both Kirigiji and Kanja. Anybody who has been to Madera West will know that my mother came from a clan called Baria Kaja. In Kiswahili or English, it's a clan, a Kanja's clan. Kanja's clan. So, not only do I have connection there, but even I'm a member of the clan of Kanja. That being so, I have noticed when he was talking about his history, I've noticed that one thing is ni mtu wa kuvumilia. Ni mtu wa kuvumilia. I noticed that he was a Form 6 and I was a Form 6, so I know what we went through. And I know that he never went to special inspector's course. And if I look properly, I'm trying to read between the lines, and people from Madera, especially Madera West, please correct me. Because maybe I'm misleading myself, but around the place where Kanja comes from, there are 2 former police bosses who used to come from there. Ben Gethi has roots somewhere there, and Mr. Washira has roots somewhere there. So I'm trying to ask myself, are these harassments that Kanja used to face related to, because I know police, especially when it was police force, I was a victim of that. It was very easy for you to be harassed, to be whatever, because you are related to so-and-so. It is even possible that he may have gone through very hard times because he is related or deemed to be related to the former 2 police officers. Yes, some people, I've even heard people saying, well, you are whatever because of your father. I can tell you from my own experience, in the police force then, if you are related to a senior police officer, a day can change. You can test heaven and hell on the same day, depending on who the next boss is. In the morning, you can meet a boss who is very friendly to your father or relative, and you'll have it very nice. In the evening, you meet somebody who was not even on the talking terms with your father or relative, and you'll know how hell is. So it is quite possible, because Nani Gethi comes from somewhere there. Nani, if you want to go to Ashira's place, you at Gandu Girls, Bishop Gatimu Gandu Girls, you take that route. It's called Gatifa. From Gatifa, as you go towards Kiaridhaine second, somewhere there, you'll reach Washira's place. Now, was his harassment throughout the rank connected to either coming from those areas or even related to those people? We may never know. And then lastly, one thing I've noticed about him, before I say the last thing, one thing I noticed about him is very humble. Very humble for somebody who was in the GSU. Now, if you place him here, and you place Nani, if you place him here and you place Koome here, and ask who spent his life in GSU, a lot of people would say Koome spent a lot of... This man is very humble. That is something I noticed. He is very humble. And then another thing I read between the lines, because such interviews, I think people who can read between the lines are the ones who are supposed to watch it. In the 80s, mid-80s, around 85, police undertook some operations, some trainings. Police said that if a police radio is spoiled, it is repaired by a civilian. If a police officer's gun is spoiled, it is repaired by a civilian. Then they undertook two types of courses. They undertook a course called Amara, and also they undertook a course called radio operation. Someone was to attend that course. The course was to last for 3 years, so that you and come out with a diploma. And you see, those days, coming out of that training with a diploma, wachana na siku hizi every county has a university. The people I knew who attended the two courses, the people who I knew attended the Amara's course, the people whom I knew who attended the radio technician's course ended up doing general duties. If you look at people like Ruben Katithi Wambua, he was a Form 6. He went for radio operators course. At the end of the 3 years, he was an inspector of police. He had a diploma. He had Form 6 certificate. He had that. What happened? Most of his working life, he spent in general duties. You see, wanaendelea hivyo, he reaches the rank of his superintendent, then he's taken to general duties. I think the last station Wambua Katithi worked was the county police commander in Busia. Look at Kanja. He attended all those armory courses. After attending armory courses, he is taken to be a platoon commander. I would have expected Kanja, after completing the Amara's course, if he were an inspector of police, he would have been taken to, let's say, county Amara, then provincial Amara, then force Amara, and now service Amara. But you see, he is trained as an Amara. He is trained how to trace and handle fire. For example, if you pick down a gun that the serial number is defaced, the serial number is replaced, or the serial number cannot be traced. And then there is also tracing the how this, we have something in firearm called end user certificate, such that the person who produced this gun, whoever produced it, if you give him the C, just like what do you call the car registration in Kenya. If I were to give register of motor vehicles, if I were to give the register of motor vehicle number plate fulani, he would tell you this vehicle originally was bought by so and so, he sold it so and so, tracing it, and right now it is supposed to be with so and so. And you go to that person, and that person says, the gun was, somebody broke into my house. And that is that traceability. Now somebody is trained in repairing firearms, in tabulating firearms, in doing whatever. And then he's made a platoon commander. He's given 32 police officers and taken to Kapedo. Why did you train him in the first place? This is what we are, I think, this is jinsi. Hapo, anguka now. If someone is, okay, let us take, for lack of a better word, let us take, we have a police hospital, isn't it? And we have the defense forces hospitals. Suppose they look at you, if you are a soldier or even a police officer, and they say, if we are to take this person to KMTC to train as a nurse, or even to the university to train as a doctor, si itakuwa mzuri. Yeah, he can be treating and then after graduating as a doctor, MD, then you are taken to Turkana to be county police commander. I think somebody take this video to Kanja. There is nobody